In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Gradebook in your Canvas course. First of all, go into your course, go over to the left-hand course navigation, down to Grades. This will bring you to the default view, which is the Gradebook. You can see the student names are along the left, and depending on how many students you'll have, this will just be a long list. You can see assignments of any type that are graded are listed in columns. And way over, well, down at the bottom, there's a scroll bar. Way over here at the right-hand side is the total. That's their total grade. Now, I don't like the total being way over there. I think it's a nuisance to scroll back and forth, but I can change that by clicking on this options triangle that shows up when I put my mouse over here. So click on that, move to front, and when it reloads, I have my totals here near my student names. Now I've got this other column right here, the secondary ID. I don't really care about that column, so I can put my mouse in between these two columns, and when it goes to double arrow, I can just shrink that up, and I can resize any of these columns that way too. If I think this Unit 1.1 assignment is too wide, I can shrink that up so it just shows the points. I can do that to any column I wish, and that will allow me to fit more content onto one screen. Now you may be thinking, well, you can't see the title of the assignment now, but if you hover your mouse over where the title is, it will always flash up the correct name of that assignment. So I like the way my gradebook is coming together. It's fitting on one page now, one screen. But if you notice, my first quiz, my third quiz, my second quiz, these are out of order. Well, I can just simply click on this square right here and drag it into the right order and let go, and I can rearrange any of these assignments by clicking and dragging. So that's a really nice way. If, for example, if you've got all of these filled out and you've got your total scores right here and you want to see total scores, but you've got an assignment way over on this side, a nice thing would be just grab that assignment, drag it over here, and start entering, let's say for example this one, and start entering scores. Now I've got that assignment right here. I can see how it affected the total, but when I'm done, I can simply just move that back to wherever I wanted it to be, perhaps way over here. So you can rearrange these however you'd like. It's really quite a nice feature. If you want to go directly to any of the assignments, you can click on the title, and it will show you the details of what that assignment was. Going back. You also have some options for each assignment as well. There's a little triangle right here that when you hover over, you can click on that and you can see the assignment details. You can go to Speed Grader, which I'll show you in the next video. You can message students who haven't turned it in or haven't scored a certain amount. You can set a default grade. You can curve the grades, but a warning, grades are not easily undone if they're curved. So you may have to actually delete the assignment and then re-add it and put all those scores back in if you decide you don't like curving the grades. But I usually don't use it. Or you can mute the assignment. This is good for those times when you want to enter a bunch of grades at the same time, but you don't necessarily want students receiving feedback on it. So you can mute that assignment, enter the grades as you like, and then when you unmute it, then they'll be able to see the grades that they received, so that nobody receives their grade ahead of time. If I were weighting my different categories of journals or assignments, it would actually show. For example, journals would be 20% of the final grade, whereas assignments are 80% of the final grade. Also, on each individual assignment, you see that that little triangle with a comment box shows up. If you click on that, you can leave a comment for that assignment. So there it is. If you don't like seeing all of the students at one time, say for example you're in a parent-teacher conference and you just want to show one student's information, you can go to Individual View, this box up here. Individual View allows you to set up which section you're looking at, alphabetically, by due date, whatever. You can treat ungraded as zeros, hide student's name, for anonymous grading so that you don't have bias. You can show notes in student info and total as points on student grade page. If you haven't set weights on your grading categories, you can always just show them as points instead of a percentage. Here's where you can set group weights as well. And then all you do is you select a student in the drop-down menu. You can select an assignment. And you can see how they've done individually. I personally don't use individual view a lot, but it is something that could be useful. You can also click to the next student. So you can go through and see that way. I find the gradebook much easier. And you can always go back to the default view of the gradebook by clicking here. One more note on the gradebook is that when a student submits an assignment, you'll start seeing icons appearing in your gradebook. It could be a T for a text entry. It would show a T right here. This one right here is a file upload. And if I click on that, I can actually see more details in the speed grader. Or I can just update the grade. I can also post a comment right here. But we'll talk about the speed grader next.